Hey, it's Ed here. Today we're taking a look at technical analysis for Bitcoin with Elliott Wave Theory. A couple of advertisements here at the start. I finally completed the Elliott Wave and RSI Advanced course, so if you want to master the RSI and want to learn how it can be utilized properly with Elliott Wave Theory, check out the course on Udemy. I've also founded Countertrend Capital with these guys over here, so if you are looking for signal service and more education, check us out here on countertrendcapital.com. And lastly, if you want to educate yourself and support me, you can take a look at Patreon, where you can find Elliott Wave Basics course, access to weekly live streams and extra content overall. Thank you for your support. Let's get into the charts next. So here we are back on Bitcoin perpetual futures charts on Binance. Now I'm back after the surgery and going to be continuing the daily uploads here and again getting back on schedule on Patreon and on the Discord chats as well. So here we are again checking out the macro picture first, as there has been some potential key points here soon or has already happened that we need to be talking about. But before that, local structure, let's take a look at the macro first and talk about these. So overall, the main idea has been this one, where we've come down in 3 waves down to these lows here of around June 2022. Since then, again, we had a potential 3-wave up here in the form of an ABC, this expanded flat, where we would have 3 wave in A, 3 waves in B, and then 5 waves here in C wave, having these divergences, and everything looked very nice for this 5 wave. And again, we are looking for at least some kind of correction to the downside, and that correction we have now had. Now for the bullish count, take a look at that. Bullish count would be where this whole thing would be a WXYXZ. Now here on arithmetic scale, we can compare the price, of course, that the wave W compared to wave X. We can see that wave X, wave Z here is very much smaller in price than anything up in here. If we are turning into log scale, we can see that the dimensions of these moves are a bit better, of course, with the percentage based moves. But this is the only way to look at this more of a bullish count at this moment. Instead of this being a 5-wave move that would be ending this ABC here, it would be a start of something new. So if this indeed is a 5-wave move, we would not get below these lows here of around 15.6k, and we would again get this at least a wave A, B, and then C. So at least we would get another wave up here overall. Of course, if we want to be turning into a bull market, we would be looking for this to be a 3rd wave, 4th wave, and 5th wave. Sorry, my mouse hand is still not perfect after the surgery, but yeah, you got the point. But yeah, those are the higher time frame structures that we are watching here. And again, we'll look into this smaller time frame here next, see what we actually got in the form of wave structure. Now we had 2 different ideas from the highs, where we were looking at this WXY count. In this one, we would have this as a W, X, and then we were looking for wave Y. Again, this was taking quite a long time, this subwave X or the micro X, compared to this higher degree subminuet X, which makes this a bit less likely overall. However, it's not making it any kind of it's not making it impossible or invalid by any means. So again, this is still valid. The extensions here are not that good though. We are getting to that 1.618 extension here on arithmetic scale, and 1.382. That is decent, but the 1.618 is kind of the max I want to be seeing in any 3-way structure, especially the WXY variety. If we go any further, then it is starting to feel like more of an impulse count, which is why I have constructed one here as well. It's not the best look, but that is something that we have to be creating as well. Now, the other one that we were talking about has been this one where we were looking into this being possible diagonal, where we had this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 coming down. 5th never stopped, and it just went down. At the moment, again, 3rd would be smallest, which makes this whole thing invalid. So we don't need to be tracking that anymore. That's why I mentioned the impulsive count to the downside. This is the way I think we should have it. These structures over here looked very overlapping. but I can't really get an overlap between the fourth here and first. So again, take this with a pinch of salt, depending on whether you are going to require an overlap between 1 and 4 here. Depends completely if this count is even valid for you. So, but again, that is the only way I can actually get any kind of count here going. So this would be a wave 1, 2, another 1, 2, 1, 2. There is a chance where this here was a third of this submicro already, and this whole thing is over. I've labeled it like this since we have hit the 0.5 of this move here with this wave 4. If we go any higher, then I would almost want to be placing this wave 4 over here already in these highs, and wave 3 over here, and finishing this whole thing at these lows. However, again, another reason why I did that is because we have not hit the 1.618 extension here of this previous structure of 1, 2. This would give us a potential one more leg downwards for the 1.618 to be tagged, and at that point we would have a better looking overall. Now on higher time frame, again, or high degree, this 1, 2 has already extended, or the third wave has extended beyond the 1.618, so that is good on that time frame already. But yeah, I think this looks very much decent. We have not taken out any highs here yet. We are still within the same downtrend, and this is pretty much the lowest low here on RSI as well. That fits into the WXY count, that fits into the impulsive count, where this is indeed a third of something at these lows. And now we'd be starting to create these thirds and fourths here before this whole thing is done. Now, if this turns into being an impulsive wave count, again, it's not yet confirmed that this is an impulse wave count, but if it is, then this most likely is going to be the start of something. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you get the point that we are going to be needing a partner leg for this one downwards at some point. So depending on what kind of structure we're going to get in the middle as a connector wave, we would either get this as a wave 1 or wave A, and that is supporting the more bearish count idea that we have on higher time frame. The WXY count here is suggesting that, okay, this is more supporting both ideas basically, either the more bearish count or the bullish count, where the bullish count ends here, and this would be the wave 1 or wave A of something, and then this would be wave B or wave 2. However, if we are looking at time element here, I don't think it is very much done yet. Generally, I want to be seeing the 38.2 to be tagged here for the second structure to be made. So even if this was a WXY on itself, I don't think this is enough of time to be retracing the whole move here. The fact, however, is that we are close to that golden pocket already, and but again, we have not tagged that yet. So based on the time, if this indeed is a three-way move down into these lows currently, we'd be looking to create a three-way pull up and then another three-way downwards. And at that point, again, depending on, of course, how high this connector wave gets, the higher the probabilities are that we are again stopping at the golden pocket or the 786, which is again giving the possibility of us rallying up higher, as this would be the wave A, B, and then C. But those are the things I would be looking at on this scenario at this moment. Again, no trades at this very moment. Very locally, we can even take a look at what kind of structure we had here. So overall, I would think that we have some kind of a three-way structure here. Whether this is a triangle here in the middle or not, it does not really matter. I do like the idea that this is a three-wave instead, or on either case. Also, this structure here does look like three waves. We don't have any kind of fourth and fifth here. Again, lowest RSI right at the top, or right at the bottom, does not really give any kind of sense that it would be a fifth wave coming down either. So at this point, the idea that this would be a wave 4 is kind of slim. However, it is still possible that this wave 4 holds here, and we are going to be creating some kind of diagonal in here, which would be the start of something new. To the downside, of course, being this being fourth. But again, if this is taking the whole weekend, is starting to take quite a bit of time, it might be that indeed it is a way for this micro instead of sub-micro. So again, that does not matter at this point. It just makes the lower degree or the structures below us later on be a bit shorter overall, as the expectations are that we are ending the count or the structure one count before it. But yeah, at this moment I'm thinking that we have three-way structures here. So again, I don't really see us impulsively too much higher. If we go all the way up to 21.5, then at that point I'd be kind of confused with this count. But of course we have the WXY count, where if this is indeed an ending or end of something, we can have this as the start, even a start of a multi-way structure where we would have this as some kind of coming up in diagonal structure. But that is not the main idea for me. Again, as we are seeing more three-way structures here, it is more probable that this is a correction of something and not a motive wave. So keep that in mind when trying to adjust and set your bias. My bias is still to the downside, as we have not received anything here that is giving me bullish vibes as of yet. S&P 500 is dumping as well, and we got a couple of nice trades there on the Patreon live stream last week as well. But yeah, I think that is going to do it for this video on Bitcoin. Again, if you want to, or if you made it this far into the video, I would appreciate the likes and comments on this video. If you want to educate yourself, check out the Discord, check out the Patreon and the Udemy courses as well. For the signals and more educational content, check out Counter Trend Capital as well. Links for all these are in the description below. Thanks for watching and see you on the next video. Bye bye.